Okay, this is just a video to clarify our solving systems of inequalities by graphing. So this is a system of inequalities. Right here, this is our example one. So we have two equations and we're trying to solve for it, but all of a sudden it's not an equals, it's kind of weird looking. We've got inequalities, we're trying to graph it, it's just crazy. So normally, before we were solving with substitution and elimination and sometimes graphing where like the answer was where they crossed, the little X marks the spot like a pirate. But so now these are inequalities and this is just kind of funky. So let's look at these. So we're going to treat these like a regular line. So this is important. I'm going to make a note of this. Treat like a normal line. The only difference is that now we're going to have shading involved, right? And then also the line might not be solid. It might be dashed. So let's look at this first one. So we have y is less than 3/4, or 3 over 4x plus 2. I'm going to do this one in yellow. So we have y is less than 3 over 4x plus 2. And we're going to look at our our regular form, like y equals mx plus b. So in this case, our slope is whatever number is in front of the x, so that's our 3 over 4. Our intercept is a positive 2. So that's normal. We've been doing this for a while, so that's nothing new. The new part is this, we've got this y is less than, but it's not less than or equal to. So what that means is this line is going to be dotted, or sometimes people call it dashed. Dotted, I'll put it in parentheses, dashed. And that's because it doesn't have the line underneath. So if it had, let me do this in pink so you can see the difference. If it had like a line underneath like that, then it would be solid, but this one doesn't, so it's dotted. Okay, so we're going to go like we normally do. Okay, so I put a dot at R2, and now we're going to graph it. So our slope says that, if we look at this, this means we're going to go up 3 and right 4. So let me draw that then. Okay, so I drew this. I pretty much got it through my little points. Now I'm going to turn it into a dotted line instead. So we have that. So that's our first line. Now also it says, okay, y is less than this. So that means we're going to do some shading because our answer is not on the line, right? Our answer is smaller than whatever that line is because y is less than. So we're going to shade below because it says less than. So I'm going to do all this shading. Here we go. Yay, I shaded. Okay, so now we've got that one. So now we need to do the second one. Let's do this one in purple. That sounds fun. Okay, so this one, we have y is greater than or equal to, y greater than or equal to negative 1/2 x, and this is minus 3. So right away we see that we have a slope of negative 1/2, so m equals negative 1 over 2. That means we're going to go down 1, right 2. So down 1, right 2. Our intercept is at a negative 3. And then y is greater than or equal to. So this means because we have the little equal to underneath, this means it's a solid line. And then the last thing we need to know is where to shade. Well, the y is greater than, that means we're going to shade above. So shade above. Guess I should have written that one on the one up here in yellow. It's less than, so we're shading below. Let's see, where could I put that? So we have a lot of information from the one equation. We have whether the line's solid or dotted, we have where we're shading, we have our slope, and we have our intercept. So now we just got to put this all together on the graph. Okay, so I've drawn this in. The only thing I don't have in there is I don't have the shading. So let me go ahead and shade that. So let's see. So I'm going to shade above. So that's up here. So now notice. Let me put this in green so it's completely contrasted. Down here, let's call this region A. So in region A, we have yellow shading, but we don't have any purple, right? In region B, we have purple and yellow shading. In region C, we have only purple shading. And in this region over here, which is kind of hard to see because of the writing, we have no shading at all. So before, when we were solving things, we said X marks the spot because that's where the two lines crossed. Well, now since we're shading, our answer is always going to be where the two shadings cross. Well, in this case, we have shading that crosses right here. This has yellow and purple, right? So this area B is our answer. We're not getting one number for our answer. Our answer is going to be like anything from that region. So this whole region is our answer. So region B is our solution. And if you pick any point inside of that area, it's going to work when you plug it back in. So like, let's say if we wanted to plug in like a, let me change the color here. If we wanted to plug in like a 1, 0, if we plugged in a 1, 0 to either one of these equations, it would work out. So anything inside this B region where the shading overlaps, that's our solution. So let's go through the steps then. Let me change pages here. And feel free to pause this and look at it more or back it up. That's why the videos are so handy. So basically, if you have a solution, or if you have a set of equations, so y less than or equal to 2x plus 1, let's see, y greater than negative x minus 3. So right now, I already have it in the form y equals mx plus b. Like I already have it set up that way where you have your y, and you have your sine, and you have mx plus b. So that's our standard slope-intercept form. We've already got that there. If it were rearranged, like let's say it was x plus y equals negative 3, or greater than negative 3. Change that. Then before we would do anything, we would have to get it into our y mx plus b form. So in this case, we would subtract our x, so we'd get this right here. But so right now, I have them already set up, so we'll just use that. Okay, so our first step then, let's write some steps. Steps are good. So step 1, you're going to get each in slope-intercept form. So that's our y equals mx plus b, or y is less than mx plus b, or y is greater than mx plus b. You need the y on one side and then your mx plus b. Step 2, you're going to use your slope and your intercept, and you're going to graph. Step 3, you're going to decide on solid or dotted lines based on what the symbol is. So this and this is dotted. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, these are both solid. And then after that, you're going to shade. You'll shade above or below. So y greater than, that's above. Y less than or equal to would be below. And your step 5 is you're going to pick out your solution set. Step 5. Solution is the region where the shading overlaps. So it's shaded in both colors, basically, where shading overlaps. Okay, so this is just a basic review video, just kind of going through how we did that. So then if you want to go back over the ones we just did, like stop this video, rewind it, watch it again. And then if you have any more questions, then just feel free to leave me a note in the comments, or you could ask in class. Okay, see you in class.